Codex is a great tool, and a lot of developers are already moving to it. But here's the thing, I couldn't find a single video that actually covers the best tips for using it. So in this video, I'm going to change that. And I guarantee, if you implement these tips, you'll get way more out of this amazing tool. I don't want to waste your time, so let's start. Last week, Codex rolled out new updates, including a powerful review command. This command lets you inspect your modifications in different contexts, review uncommitted changes, review a specific commit, and review against the base branch. The last option is especially flexible since you can add your own instructions to guide the review. I found this feature particularly valuable when tracking down a major bug. By comparing two branches with review, it identified what caused the issue. OpenAI also released an IDE extension for VS Code-based tools like Cursor, Windsurf, and of course VS Code itself. You can review file changes directly in the IDE and trigger cloud tasks right from your editor without touching Codex Web. This button is so useful, it deserves its own tip. In the Codex IDE, you've got an undo button that instantly reverts the last modification back to its previous state. It's a lifesaver for those moments when the LLM starts to hallucinate and changes something it shouldn't. With Codex Web, you can use best of n. Codex can now generate multiple responses simultaneously for a single task, helping you quickly explore possible solutions to pick the best approach. Unfortunately, this feature is only available on Codex Web right now. But when developers asked to bring it into the Codex CLI, the team said they added it to the roadmap, so it should make its way into the CLI in the future. When using Codex, the most important file in your repo is Agents.md. Think of it like a README, but instead of describing your project for humans, it tells Codex how to navigate your codebase. The cool part is that Agents.md is automatically loaded into context with every session, whether you're using Codex in the CLI, IDE, or web. And it's not just Codex, Agents.md is becoming an industry-wide convention. Tools like VS Code and Cursor have agreed to load it by default as well. That means you don't need to maintain separate guidelines files for every tool. One Agents.md file works across your entire dev stack. If you're using Codex, you're most likely on the subscription plan. That also gives you access to the ChatGPT website, where you can take advantage of the deep search feature. Deep search is especially useful for heavy planning or when you need to dig deep into the web. For example, I once hit a tough integration issue, and the only way I found the solution was by running a deep search. It's not a surprise that most developers use AI coding to help with design implementation. With Codex, you got two powerful options. Connect to a Figma MCP to pull in the exact design specs, or simply paste images directly into the chat. The rule of thumb here, the more detail you provide, the better the generated code will be. Pro tip, use the deep search feature to create multiple design variations for different screen sizes. That way, you'll end up with fully responsive layouts without manually tweaking every breakpoint. Codex is already a powerful tool, but you can boost your productivity even further by mentioning files directly. Don't waste tokens and context on Codex trying to figure out which files you mean. Just point it to the right ones. The more you help the LLM, the better. The new GPT-5 models come with a massive 400k context window. They also have a usage limit measured per 5-hour window. With the status command, you can check both your current context usage and how much of your 5-hour quota is left. Even with such a large window, keeping your context focused and relevant is critical. Polluting it with unrelated information can waste your tokens and increase the risk of hallucinations. In addition, if you're starting a new task and the previous context isn't relevant, you can use the new command to start a fresh chat and clear the old context. But what if you do need to bring back context from an earlier conversation? That's where the resume option comes in. It lets you reload context from past chats so you can pick up exactly where you left off. In the Codex CLI, you can use the resume command directly to bring back a previous chat. If you're using the IDE extension, it's even simpler. You can just click on the chat history panel to view and reload your past conversations. If you need to run a small job, Codex now lets you offload it to the background using cloud tasks. Currently, this feature is available only in the IDE. You just switch the execution mode from local to cloud. It's best suited for lightweight jobs that don't require supervision or interactive input. For anything more complex, stick with local execution so you can stay in control. Guys, if you're here, it will mean the world to me if you like the video and sub to our channel. Codex lets you work with different GPT-5 models. Right now, there are two choices, the standard GPT-5 and a different model called GPT-5-Codex. Though the name can be a little misleading. I usually work with GPT-5 Codex and adjust its thinking effort, depending on the task. For heavy tasks, major bugs, or feature planning, I set it to high effort. For medium tasks, I use medium effort. For quick one-line changes, low effort is enough. Keep in mind, higher reasoning takes more time to respond. So don't be lazy. Switching the effort level dynamically can save you a lot of time. Another great feature in Codex is the pull request review. Once you set up your Codex Cloud environment, all you need to do is mention Codex and it will review your code. By default, PR reviews run on the GPT-5 Codex model. Now, tools like Claude Code and Cursor already offer automated PR reviews, but after using them for a few months, I found that if reviews trigger automatically on every PR, or even on every small change, it quickly becomes exhausting. That's why I really like Codex's approach. The review only runs when you explicitly ask for it, and honestly, it's the smoothest PR review experience I've had so far. OpenAI recently published an article explaining how they use Codex internally. In it, they outline several best practices, and one of the most impactful is using Codex to understand your codebase. They shared a few examples, and I found 2 of them especially powerful. Let me walk you through them. First, when I fix a bug, I use ask mode to see where else in the codebase the same issue might appear. Amazing. And the next one I liked is when I'm on call, I paste the stack trace and ask Codex where the auth flow lives. It jumps straight to the right files so I can triage fast. Another example from this paper is improving test coverage. The amount of AI-generated code is growing rapidly, even inside production projects. The safest way to protect yourself from future issues is to make sure all the main flows are covered with tests. That can mean unit tests, integration tests, or full end-to-end tests. With Codex, generating these tests is straightforward. You can quickly create coverage for new code and ensure that everything AI generates is properly tested before it ships. The last tip from the OpenAI paper I want to mention is start with ask mode. For large changes, start by prompting Codex for an implementation plan using ask mode, which then becomes the input for follow-up prompts when you switch to code mode. This 2-step flow keeps Codex grounded and helps avoid errors in its output. That's it for today. Sub for more content about Codex.